Goku did the impossible. He combined Ultra Instinct with his KAIO-KEN. Come with me and I'll show you this chapter, which is simply insane, so let's go. In an isolated plane of reality, where time flowed in a distorted way, and space seemed shaped by divine energy itself, Goku floated in a meditation pose. His silver hair rippled with the subtle pressure of true Ultra Instinct, a form that transcends thought and impulse based on pure instinct. But despite the serene appearance, the training was brutal. Before him, Beerus observed with narrowed eyes, like a predator testing the limits of his prey. The god of destruction knew that Goku had not yet mastered what he needed to use Ultra Instinct with emotional freedom, something that broke the barriers of the original technique. The training began with rapid exchanges of blows, so fast that the surrounding space distorted with each impact. Beerus did not hold back his strength. His attacks were precise, lethal, and imbued with destructive energy. Goku dodged with the lightness of a feather, his body reacting even before his mind processed it. But there were flaws. Small hesitations arose when emotions surfaced: anger, joy, even the enthusiasm of combat. And whenever this happened, Beerus landed a precise blow, sending Goku crashing against mountains or through dimensional craters created by the sheer force of their clashes. However, Goku did not give up. Even as blood trickled from his lips, his gaze conveyed an unusual determination. It was the same gleam that appeared when he faced Frieza on planet Namek, Cell in the Otherworld Tournament, and Jiren in the Tournament of Power. But now, he didn't just want to react. He wanted to integrate his feelings into the technique, allowing Ultra Instinct not to nullify his essence but to absorb it. Beerus noticed this, and he sped up the pace. The purple energy spheres fired by Beerus cut through the air like deadly arrows. Goku now avoided them by millimeters, not just with automated movements, but by blending his own will to win with the flow of Ultra Instinct. Instead of suppressing his emotions, he began to accept them, to channel them. The memory of his children, of Chi-Chi, of the friends he loved appeared in his mind, not as distractions, but as fuel. For the first time, the silver glow of Ultra Instinct gained reddish tones at its edges. It was then that the surrounding field trembled. Goku, in mid-flight, locked in the air with an internal explosion of energy. His muscles expanded, veins pulsed, and his aura blazed with an incandescent fury. True Ultra Instinct, in harmony with KAIO-KEN X20, roared like a cosmic dragon. An extreme risk, KAIO-KEN multiplied the stress on the body, and using it alongside Ultra Instinct, a form that required absolute physical control, seemed suicidal. But Goku did not hesitate. Beerus smirked. He recognized it, not just as power, but as something genuine, something fierce and pure, a spark that not even a god could ignore. He advanced, creating gaps in space with the pressure of his punches. But Goku was now on another level. His movements were instinctive and at the same time filled with intent. He danced among the attacks as if reading time, dodging by millimeters, each step calculated and fierce. The fight intensified like an expanding thunder. Goku used KAIO-KEN X20 to boost his physical attacks, while Ultra Instinct guided his defense and counterattacks. His punches left red and silver trails in the air, each impact shaping the surrounding environment as if the laws of physics wavered under his might. Beerus, even with his millennial mastery, was pressured. For an instant, he had to retreat. It was at that moment that Goku channeled everything he had. He clenched his fist so hard that the air around his hand warped. The red-silver aura roared with a flash. He advanced with a silent scream, too fast for any common reaction. Beerus prepared for the impact, but felt, in that microsecond before contact, that this blow was not just force. It was will. It was the convergence of instinct, emotion, control, and risk. The punch landed squarely on his face. The impact created a shockwave that tore through the skies. The ground split for dozens of kilometers around. Beerus was hurled like a comet, traversing layers of space as if they were glass, until he finally stopped, floating silently, with a trickle of blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. Goku remained suspended in the air for a second. His body trembled, his pupils lost their silver glow, his aura vanished, and he returned to his base form, falling to his knees, exhausted. The effort had taken its toll. He breathed heavily, his body burning from within, as if every cell was on the verge of collapse. Beerus slowly reappeared, serious and silent. There was no anger in his eyes, nor immediate pride, but there was respect, and that spoke more than any words. Goku smiled, even barely able to keep his eyes open. He knew he had surpassed a new limit, not just of power, but of himself. Combining KAIO-KEN with Ultra Instinct without destroying his body was a feat that defied the divine, but more than that, he had made Ultra Instinct accept who he was. A warrior driven by emotions who fights not for perfection, but for love, for will, for life. And that, even Beerus would admit, was truly divine. And so the chapter ends. True Ultra Instinct combined with KAIO-KEN represents one of the greatest fusions of technique, instinct, and raw power ever seen in the Dragon Ball universe. Goku, upon reaching this state, not only pushes the limits of what a mortal can achieve, he literally breaks through barriers that even the gods hesitated to touch. And in a universe where Black Frieza, now one of the most feared and powerful beings to emerge, looms as a real and imminent threat, this combination may well be the definitive answer. Frieza, in his black form, is no longer the tyrant of old. His power has been refined by years of training in a hyperdimensional chamber where time flowed differently. The result was a brutal evolutionary leap that allowed him to humiliate Goku and Vegeta in their most advanced states, Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego respectively, with a single blow each. His new form combines not only overwhelming strength but also refined combat intelligence, superior perception, and tactical sadism. There is no longer hesitation or arrogance. Black Frieza is the pinnacle of a warrior's evolution who finally learned to fear time. But what makes true Ultra Instinct with KAIO-KEN a viable weapon against him is precisely its dual nature. Traditional Ultra Instinct, though incredibly powerful, always demanded a neutral, emotionally empty, almost divine posture from Goku. Any emotional oscillation could affect performance and destabilize the form. But true Ultra Instinct breaks free from this limitation. It allows Goku to maintain his emotions, the will to protect, righteous fury, the enthusiasm of the fight, without compromising the control of automatic instinct. It is a more human, more intense, and much more adaptable form to the chaos of a real battle. KAIO-KEN, in turn, is a technique that multiplies strength, speed, and energy explosively. Although risky, when mastered with the level of control Goku currently possesses, it becomes a catalyst for destruction. Using KAIO-KEN X20 on top of true Ultra Instinct means accelerating all bodily impulses that are already optimized to the level of a divine instinct. Each blow becomes devastating, each dodge borders on the impossible, and the energy aura surrounding Goku vibrates with an almost unattainable frequency. The synergy between the two forms creates something rare, a state of raw power, yet with elegance, control, and adaptability. Against Black Frieza, whose speed and strength have reached absolute levels, this is essential. Pure Ultra Instinct could predict his movements, but perhaps it wouldn't have enough power to hurt him. Isolated KAIO-KEN would bring strength, but not precision. Together, they balance exactly what is needed: strength to hurt, speed to keep up, and instinct to stay one step ahead. Furthermore, the emotional aspect of true Ultra Instinct gives Goku an invisible advantage. Frieza is a manipulator, a provocateur, and has always used his opponent's emotions against them. But now, these emotions fuel Goku. The memory of his family, his friends, the countless lives Frieza destroyed, all these memories don't weaken him, they strengthen him. True Ultra Instinct does not reject righteous hatred or the desire to protect. It channels it, transforms it into an impulse for perfect action. In terms of direct comparison, Black Frieza may still have an advantage in raw durability and prolonged regenerative capacity. However, what Goku offers with this new fusion is impact. If he can find an opening, a single instant of vulnerability, a blow with KAIO-KEN X20 under Ultra Instinct can pierce layers of defense and injure even someone of Frieza's level. It's a high-risk gamble, but with a destructive potency that could turn any fight around. And it's not just physical strength. The training with Whis, the tactical knowledge acquired with Beerus, and the experience accumulated against enemies like Moro, Granola, and Gas have given Goku the combat malice he previously lacked. He is no longer naive, entering combat expecting the enemy to reveal everything at once. Now, he understands when to hide his trump card, when to moderate his power, and when to go all out. True Ultra Instinct with KAIO-KEN would not be revealed at first. It would be the last resort, unleashed like a lightning bolt in the midst of a storm when Frieza believed he had already won. Another relevant point is the psychological shock. Frieza always despised Goku for being an inferior Saiyan, a constant reminder of his failure to exterminate a race he deemed weak. Seeing Goku reach a state that not even the gods of destruction dare to fully explore would be a blow to his ego, and this shock can be the perfect opening. Frieza doesn't deal well with the unpredictable. He controls, manipulates, dominates. But Goku, in this form, becomes an ordered chaos, a dance of light and destruction that cannot be read, predicted, or contained. Finally, there is the matter of time. Goku knows that maintaining KAIO-KEN x20 with true Ultra Instinct consumes energy at an astronomical rate, but he doesn't need to maintain it for hours. Seconds are enough. A well-placed attack, a clean hit at the right spot, and even Black Frieza can fall. It's a kamikaze style, yes, but refined, conscious, precise. Thus, true Ultra Instinct with KAIO-KEN x20 establishes itself as one of the most lethal weapons against Frieza. Not because it is infallible, but because it represents everything Frieza does not expect: adaptation, emotion, sacrifice, and indomitable will. Goku is not the strongest by right. He is the strongest because he never stops evolving, and against a monster like Frieza, this instinct for self-improvement, now maximized, may be exactly what the universe needs. Seeing this happen on screen, in high-level animation, will be truly insane. Goku's transformation, his body enveloped by the silver calmness of Ultra Instinct, while the red and pulsating aura of KAIO-KEN begins to emerge from between the layers of divine energy, will create an absurdly powerful visual contrast. The surrounding scenery trembling, dimensions tearing from the pressure of condensed energy, and Frieza's eyes widening for the first time in a long time. All of this will make every second of this confrontation feel eternal, heavy, legendary. The fight, inevitably, will be a spectacle of choreography and impact. Goku will move like a wave that refuses to be contained, his attacks coming from impossible angles, mixing the unpredictability of instinct with the explosive brutality of KAIO-KEN. And Frieza, however cold and confident he may be, will be forced to retreat, to block, to sweat, something he hasn't done in a long time. The entire universe will seem to pause for a moment when Goku's punch lands on the Black Emperor's face, as if reality wasn't sure if it should continue to exist after such a collision. It is precisely this kind of moment that marks generations of fans, the breaking of expectations, the impossible made possible. Seeing Goku, someone who always fought with his heart, finally find a state where he can use that as strength, not weakness, is the kind of climax that Dragon Ball has always promised. And this time, it won't be an easy or gratuitous victory. It will be earned with sweat, pain, and sacrifice in a way that only a true warrior of the universe can do. In the end, the most insane thing will not just be the power, the blows, or the visual effects. The most insane thing will be to witness once again Goku breaking a barrier that everyone judged insurmountable, surpassing his own limit, facing an enemy who seemed unreachable, and yet finding something greater within himself. True Ultra Instinct with KAIO-KEN x20 is not just a technique. It is living proof that as long as there is something to protect, Goku will always find a new path. And seeing that happen will be absolutely unforgettable. But comment on what you thought of all this, and don't forget to like. Thank you very much for all your support, and see you next time.